Good afternoon, everybody. How you doing? All right, it is October the 16th already. We're halfway through the month. Halloween is 2 weeks away. Oh, the year goes by way too fast. Anybody with kids knows about that. Seems like you have your life and then how things went pre-children. And, everything kind of moved a little slower and had all the free time and did what you want and probably abused your body more, but once you have kids, it just starts flying by. You can't even keep up with it. It's unbelievable. So, and it's this time of day, my energy is starting to dive a little bit, but I did not do well on my eating. I didn't do bad on my eating. I just ate too much before this time. Generally, I've been trying to not eat that much, as I've talked about, but I was at the restaurant today and screwed up somebody's dish. I put the wrong sauce on. So rather than give that to the customer incorrectly, I ate it. And probably shouldn't have, but it happens. So I was going to go to the gym. I was trying to plan out my day to get to the gym right as my energy levels get low around that 2:30, 3 o'clock mark, but I have to get documents back to my house and signed and faxed over to my accountant, so that's not happening. I guess not fax, scan and emailed, right? We don't fax anymore. But yeah, today, talk a little bit about just what I've been up to in the cryptos. Just checked the price at 57, so we've been hovering. We spiked up there to 59. That was Thursday evening. Yeah, gosh. So yeah, Thursday evening, Bitcoin hit 59. And Ethereum hadn't moved yet. Then Friday, ETH moved up to, I think we touched, so far we've touched almost 350. Haven't quite gotten to 350, I don't believe, on ETH. And so prices right now, 57.09 for Bitcoin, 332 for ETH, and it was like 64, something like that for Litecoin. So, just looking at the Coinbase charts. I haven't looked at coinmarketcap.com today to see what the alts are doing. But my understanding from what Clif's data is putting out in his reports is that we're going to hit that 68.88 mark on Bitcoin, and then it's going to have, its typical 35% correction, which happens every time it spikes up to a high. Then money's going to start moving into the altcoins, which is pretty exciting. You just don't know which altcoins are going to be, right? So, the ones that I try to stay most abreast to, I was in on the Pillar ICO. The ICO for Pillar hasn't done much yet, but the wallet hasn't been released yet. So as they continue to build out the project, I don't have that much money in it. I've got a lot of Pillar, but they were pretty damn cheap when they came out. So that's going to be a long-term hold. I'm not going to sell Pillar for double my money, because what's the point of that when if it turns out to be a good company, it could be 100, 200 times when it's all said and done. So you might as well hold on to that. That's just my way of thinking anyway. And then a little Veritasium. Cliff's Data's got really exciting things for Veritasium. So whether that comes to fruition in the timeline he's seeing it, who knows? But Reggie's an ass kicker, and he's already launched some pretty good stuff with Veri. So if any coin, a company, I should say, Veritasium, any platform, has a team behind it that Reggie, like Reggie's team, then, that's as safe a bet as any that they're going to be successful, because he really knows his stuff, and he's a hardworking guy. I love listening to him being interviewed. And then, I'm on the fence about Populous. I think Populous has got, certainly if all pans out, and their project is fully up and running, I mean, certainly it's a decent bet, so I've got a little Populous. So the altcoins are definitely, I guess they're not flying yet, which they're not, but they're going into the end of the year. So we'll just have to see how that all plays out. But definitely, if we get a Bitcoin 688 and it pulls 680, 880, or 6888, I should say, and it starts pulling back, yeah, I'll take some off the table, Bitcoin, and put puts them into the altcoins. I'm just not great at timing everything, and I'm not going to try to get too cute with it. So if I hit that number on Bitcoin, and we've seen it with Bitcoin, right? Every time it goes up, it has the spikes, which is why I'm pretty confident that Clif 68 number thereabout is going to be the actual spike up, because I don't see a crash from this 59 that it hit. It's been really stable. Every time it gets down into that 5,500 range, it's back up above 56 and is been continuously trading now basically between 56 and 58 for the last 4 days, with no real signs that it's gonna pull one of its 25-35% drops. And so I'm wholeheartly have no reason not to believe that 6888 number in his data. I'm just gonna, I'm gonna keep being a holder until that point, and I probably won't sell off, not that I have a ton of Bitcoin or something. I mean, it's, $5,800 a pop or whatever. So, but sell off portions of my Bitcoin and move them into altcoin, and then hopefully we'll see how the timing goes, but if I'm able to make some money on those alts, move it back to Bitcoin, because every time it does have this spike, we see it come down 30+%. I mean, it's been really consistent being in that mid 30 range, somewhere between 32 and 38%, before it starts crawling back up. We saw it 4,900, shot back down to 3,000. Before that, we saw it get up to 2,800 and then drop back down to 1,900. So, those are the two big moves as of late, over the summer, those jumps. And so, if he's got a $6,800 number from the previous low, would be pretty consistent, right? It'd be 2.5 times. 2.5 times off the recent low. So the recent low was 3,000 or just thereabouts after it jumped up to 49. So that's the low we're working off of, and it's been crawling back up, obviously. So once it gets to 68, close to 7, we're going to be, almost 2.5 times. So, basically it's the pattern. The last 4 or 5 waves have all basically followed the same pattern as far as multiples, and so you could expect a pullback from 68 down to what, 48, 45 even, possibly, right? You could see a pretty decent correction there, and then it obviously would be another great time to buy, as I guess the next price target. I don't know short term, but they've thrown out the 13,800 mark for late February, early March, something along those lines. So yeah, if you're able to capitalize on this next $1,100 and move, and then sell it off and then buy it, and then holding it until March, then you're looking at a possibility of a good little over 3 times the price there. So you could never beat that, right? Unless you get lucky and tag an altcoin that decides to go 100% overnight, which I've seen as of late. Random. What was the one? I can't think of the darn name. It's on CoinMarketCap, and it's like this long name for this altcoin, and I'm thinking, the heck? I mean, I didn't take time to read the white paper, but it's a stupid name, so I don't know. But yeah, it was up 168% in 24 hours. It's like, Jesus, that's insane. Not to say that you won't see those moves. I mean, I'm hoping that you get tokens like Salt and stuff that see the moves that Ethereum went through. If you could have Salt go to ETH price, we shouldn't put that out there as being crazy, because it's definitely not. Ether was sitting there around $5-7, and then it hit 10, and everyone's like, should we get in at 10? Then all of a sudden, before you know it, it shot all the way up to $400 there on that big initial swing through the spring. It was insane, absolutely insane. I mean, that is 40 times your money in a matter of a few months. That's unthinkable. Same with Veritasium. Veritasium went from a few bucks to 170, 200, somewhere around there where it topped out at. I can't remember the exact dollar amount it got up to. And then it, it's since corrected 60-70%. But I mean, these moves are not unfounded. They've happened quite a bit. I think ICO mania is less than what it was because there's so many good companies out there now. People are kind of like, okay, the price is kind of flushed itself out to where it's going to be until some major announcements start rolling and the businesses start putting out product or being implemented in different ways, shape, or form as they do, depending on the business. And I think people rather say, okay, Populous at this price or Salt at this price. This is a real company. They've, basically been verified by everybody and anybody out there. And so why not, if I'm in it, if I'm even we should look at 12 to 24 months as, in the altcoin, people go, oh, long term. Well, but in the investing community, which sometime next year, I'm sure more people in the investing world will start getting into, 12 to 24 months is nothing, right? I mean, these people are used to dealing with bonds and 401ks and all different kind of mutual funds. I mean, things that are 7 to 10 year investments, even stock market cycles. I mean, most people don't trade in and out of their stocks. They just ride out their 401k or IRA through the ups and downs. But I mean, even most stock market cycles are 5-7 year cycles. So I feel very confident that companies like Veritasium and Salt and Populous and AdX, has a great business concept and has been implemented, is live in certain situations. I can't remember what they signed on to. I'll have to double check that. But a fantastic business model and concept, and they're up and running. They have proof of concept and it's live. So we know that AdX can do what it says it's going to do. It's just a matter of more adoption with AdX, more market recognition. So, and AdX is at like $1. So, if you're like, I'm going to put $4,000 into AdX, and if AdX becomes $100, $200, $300 coin down the line as businesses start to utilize it to get a better return on their investment of their social media marketing, internet marketing, that's $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 pretty well spent, or more if that's what you want to do, or less. If you're just a college kid and you're like, I'm going to throw $250 at AdX, and when I graduate in 3 years, maybe give me a little cash. Well, if you put $250 in now, if it goes up to $100, then you got 25 grand that you could utilize when you graduate. So that's a decent investment while you're sitting there in your books and drinking beer, right? So and there's obviously tons of other ones out there. There's just not that many that I'm interested in playing in. Number one, because a lot of them you have to go through Ether Delta, and then you got to move it to your wallet, and it's the integration of them on trading platforms is not as easy. Like, if all trading platforms ran like Gemini, I'd be like, hell yeah. I'd definitely be dabbling in more things because it tracks everything. But Gemini only has Bitcoin and Ethereum. You can only trade those two, but it's seamless. I mean, it's amazing. It's like easier than using freaking E-Trade. Gemini is a fantastic platform, and the fees are nothing. They're non-existent. I mean, it's like 0.25% fee. It's fantastic, opposed to you're paying basically 4 times less if you use bank as you do on a bank transfer on Coinbase. And even Coinbase they tend to do like what bullion dealers do with gold and silver. Like they tack a premium onto your Bitcoin. So Bitcoin price is sitting at 5,700. Their price to buy it, even though that's the spot price, is like 57.17, and then you're going to pay $70 in the fee. So you're almost at $100 overpriced to buy it, through Coinbase, which I use because Coinbase is, if you're going to keep any money on an exchange, Coinbase is badass. They've got vaults for all of them. Still better not to keep it on an exchange, but you know, they've got storage costs, you know, they got security, high amount of security costs, I'm sure. So that's how they make their money, right? People don't trade on Coinbase. People buy and hold with Coinbase for the most part. Number one, you can't even get your coin for 6-7 days. So whether that's Ethereum, Litecoin, or Bitcoin, you buy it and it's pending. It's pending for 6 days until you're able to get a hold of it, and it shows up in your account and you can't transfer it. Nice thing about Gemini, you're instantly buying it. You cannot pull that Ether, that Litecoin, or that money off of Gemini, but you can play with it until it does clear 5 days later. So, you know, if you want to get on there, you're like, okay, I'm going to put $500 on Gemini, you can trade instantly, and you can add money to your account while that money's still trying to clear. So ease of use for getting in and out quickly is awesome. So I use both. Obviously, I don't use, you know, I don't trade with that much on Gemini, but you know, I do most of my buying and holding with Coinbase, and then or Ether Delta, and then transfer it into my wallets. But you know, it's just it's getting pretty easy, especially to acquire your big three. You know, Bitfinex is a decent, usable exchange as well. I like them. What I don't like is because the way my mind works, I put dollar evaluations on everything. And so when people are paired up, like how many ETH, so you know, you'll have the ETH to Populous, right? You'll have your ratio, the price is going for ETH to Populous. Well, you know, that's great and happy and awesome, but you're gonna have to make sure you have that dollar conversion if you're going to keep accurate records, because you're going to look back and say, okay, I spent 0.002 whatever on this altcoin. It was that many, you know, that much ETH for each of these altcoins. Well, what was the price of ETH that day? And then you're going to have to record that. Otherwise, you're not going to know the dollar value, because if ETH goes from 330 up to 600, and that altcoin goes up 5 times or goes down 5 times, whatever, I mean, your ratios can get really out of whack really quick, and without a dollar value next to each coin, it's kind of hard to track. You know, and whereas Gemini, even though it's only the two coins I get Ether's not a coin token. I can log in. It says Bitcoin's at blah. You know, your last purchase was at blah in US dollar terms. And it just makes it all much easier to organize and create records and keep a hold of how much money you've got in and how much money you've made and so on and so forth. I did start using the little Blockfolio app, which you have to manually enter everything, but once it's entered, you know, that's it's pretty cool. It shows, you know, it's going to give you live updates on everything. It's not connected to any of your wallets or any financial institutions or anything. Everything you have to manually enter. Hey, I bought Bitcoin at 4,200 on this date from this exchange, and then it'll say what your gains are and so on and so forth. So that's I've used that for my wife, because she just buys little bits here and there, and then she just puts it in the Coinbase vault. So that's great for her, because she could just pull it up on Blockfolio and say, okay, you know, well cool, I've, you know, my account's gained $600 since I started putting stuff in, or whatever it might be. So that's a great little tool for people to use, is the Blockfolio app. It's got really good reviews. As long as you're doing your part and punching in the conversions right. Like, she got all confused because she had one coin to Bitcoin, Litecoin to Bitcoin instead of Litecoin to USD after she bought some Litecoin. So it said she had, like, you know, 117 million Litecoin or something. So, you know, and she was all confused on what happened. And, you know, so as long as you're doing your part, it's a great app, and it's, you know, live updates all the time on what your account holdings are, and it makes your next financial move, if you are somebody who wants to kind of ride the waves a little bit, You can get in and out, and then just record whatever you sold under the sell button on Blockfolio, and it will record that for you. But again, it's not connected to the exchanges or any financial institutions. It's just all has to be manually entered, which is good, because if your phone gets stolen or whatever, yeah, they might be able to figure out that you've got some Bitcoin or Litecoin, but they're not going to be able to do anything with it. And you don't have to worry about security of the app or anything like that, because it's not connected to anything. You can just say, oh, I was playing with it. You know, I don't actually have that, right? So yeah, I recommend that for organizing. But yeah, I mean, it seems like the Chinese are going to be coming out with some announcements soon. Crypto ruble just happened. I need to read into that. Just saw it last night, so I'm going to have to read in a little bit on what's going on with that. But obviously, Russia's integrating that, the cryptocurrency system into the ruble, which basically means that China's going to be doing the same thing. Everything Russia and China do, the other one does. They're doing them in tandem because they are, on that side of the world right now, the two superpowers, and most commerce is run through them, and they will swallow up Taiwan, they're going to swallow up the Philippines, they're going to swallow up eventually Japan. Once Japan says this is really stupid that we keep, you know, being a puppet of the U.S. financial system. Obviously South Korea, Singapore, you know, they're going to swallow up that whole Eurasian trade zone, because it will just make sense. It'll make absolute sense. And all China has to do is say, hey, we want you to use this cryptocurrency, or the crypto yuan, or gold cryptocurrency, or whatever it is, because they've already got that new ruble, not ruble, but yuan to gold oil contract, energy contract. So yeah, wait for some big announcements out of China. Well, I wouldn't wait. I'd just keep your head out for them. I'd buy some crypto now, and then wait for the announcements. But yeah, there'll be some interesting stuff coming out of China. They just got done with their 5-year meetings. I think they're done. Maybe they're finishing up this week. I'm not sure. But basically what they do, plan their country for the next 5 years, what path they're going, and then, you know, they'll to build upon whatever their 100-year plan is. I mean, the Chinese play the long game like nobody's business. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, just a little crypto talk today. I needed to get a video out, and my gym plans got a little disrupted. So I just want to encourage everybody to stay abreast of the changing of the guard. The crypto world is pretty exciting. But as always, do your homework. You know, you've got to know what you're investing in, just like you're doing anything else. It's all of our individual responsibility to get involved, and don't play with money you can't afford to play with. That's first and foremost, right? So that's it for today. I would really like to do another video later. I got some stuff I have to get done this evening, so we'll see how that goes, but I'd love to get one out. Have a good one, guys.